Well, all right. Let me see. I'm here in the TV studio and all the lights are on and there's cameras in front of me. So I guess it's Accordion Cool once again, Coach Dave. So happy to be here with you. And, even with the TV lights, the air conditioner feels much nicer than it does outside. That's for sure. So here we go again. First tune was, I think I've played this relatively recently, so please indulge me. But it was from what they call a review. Now I haven't quite figured out what a review is. I mean, it's not a show per se, but it's I guess they draw out songs and review. I don't know. But a Broadway or some kind of review in 1923. Obviously, whatever the review was, it didn't work out too well. But fortunately for us, that song did persevere. It's called I May Be Wrong. Or I think the full title is I May Be Wrong, but I Think You're Wonderful. Oh, how many times have those words been spoken? Yes, yes, yes. Anyway, our next tune, 1939. Now, back then, so the word on the street is, and I did read this somewhere, there was a little French fishing village on the coast of France, and for a few years, a bunch of English songwriters used to go over there and just, vegetate away from the world and write songs. And a lot of songs came out of there, like These Foolish Things and White Cliffs of Dover. A lot of great tunes. This is one of them. Well, they came from the French village. Let's put it that way. I'm not sure if they did this all the time, but it's a nice story anyway. I've always liked this song. Excuse me. Comes with a small disclaimer. There's some different chords in this song. Most of the time I hit them. Oh, again, here we go. But if you hear a little squeak or squawk that doesn't sound right, it's not me, it's your set. Pretty tune called A Nightingale Sang in Berkeley Square. A Nightingale Sang in Berkeley Square. I don't know what a nightingale was doing in Berkeley Square, but he or she was singing. I believe Berkeley Square, I think it's in London someplace. So I don't know if nightingales generally, I don't know, I've never been there. So anyway, moving right along to our next. Now this tune also has got some funny chord changes, but we might be able to get through it. This came from the love theme from a movie called The Sandpiper in 1965. Now this song is a song that you got to know it. There's no faking it on this particular song. And 100 years or so ago, I was doing a gig, and a friend of mine I knew was doing a gig down the street, and I got through early, so I went down, to catch the other group. And he had an accordion player with him, a young kid, nice kid, played nice, but not a lot of experience. He was just the first time he played. And I'm standing there, and I'm watching them and listening, and my friend, who was a sax player, called the song. And immediately I said to myself, oh no! Not because he couldn't play it, but if he didn't know it, there was no way this poor kid was going to get through this particular song. I honestly don't remember if he did or not, or even if I'm going to do it well anyway. So, for The Sandpiper, 1965, The Shadow of Your Smile. The shadow of your smile. All right, this next song from 1934, and it was from a film. Don't know the name of the film, so here we go again with, fortunately, a song that persevered from something that maybe did not. So it was also covered in, that means other people did it, but like some of the doo-wop, remember all those doo-wop groups that were in the 1960s and 70s? A couple of them, don't even know what their names were. A couple of those doo-wop groups in 55 and 75, they also covered this song. But again, with all due respect, it's just not the same as the original. So 1934, I only now have eyes for, oh, no, oh, wait a minute, well, I just have eyes. Here we go. I only have eyes for, oh, never mind, for you. Only have eyes for you. Pretty. I guess I'm picking pretty tunes today. They're pretty good, pretty nice. So why don't I shut up and just play? All right. Well, this next tune, been around just a couple of years. In fact, it was written in 19-aught, as they used to say, 1902. 1902. Now, way back then, when they wrote songs, a lot of the songs had like a little verse. And the little verse kind of explained, what was going to happen next with the particular tune. And this tune was written by a fellow who actually was a piano player in shall we say, an establishment that served adult beverages. And, well, the name of the song is Bill Bailey, or Won't You Come Home, Bill Bailey. And he wrote it because he had a very good friend of his who always used to come into the club to hear him play. His name was Willard Bailey. And Willie, he kind of had just a little bit of problem with the sauce, if you know what I mean. So this piano player wrote the tune, Bill Bailey, Won't You Please Come Home, and Willard, or Bill, thought it was really kind of funny, so he took it home to his wife because it kind of explains, especially the verse, wife sitting home, the guys in the bar room, blah blah blah. She didn't really think it was quite so funny, but as they say, cooler heads prevailed, and we now have Won't You Come Home, Bill Bailey. And of course the verse, which explains why she's asking him to come home, is rarely, if ever, played. And if it is, it's a vocal, because it's going to tell you a story. So we're just going to go right into the song. Oh, William Bailey, come on home now, all is forgiven. Here we go. Willard, or Bill, I guess Willard they call him Bill. You can go on home now. She's doesn't, the frying pan's on the stove where it belongs, not in her hand, so she's not going to attack you with it. So all is forgiven, Bill. Well, we're getting down near the end of our time here. Now, if you've been watching this show for a while, you know that I always generally try to end with a little tune that's a little up tempo. Well, I'm going to break that streak today. Now, in 1969, a fellow named Paul Anka. Remember Paul Anka? Wow, way back in the 50s. Well, Paul was visiting in France, and he heard a song. Well, I'm sure he heard a lot of songs, but he heard one particular song that he really, really liked. No idea what it meant, because of course it was in French. He didn't speak French, but he just loved the melody to it. Thought it was fantastic. So he actually bought all the copyrights to that song, took it back to Los Angeles, wrote American words to it, or English words to it. I think there's probably a difference. English words to the song, and presented it to his buddy Frank Sinatra as they were having a couple of adult beverages one day. Frank hated it, didn't want anything to do with that song, didn't want to sing it, didn't want to play it, didn't want to record it. As I said earlier for another song, fortunately cooler heads prevailed. And Frank did record this song, and while this was getting sort of near the end of his career, it became his signature song for the rest of his career. Now, there was another fellow right about that same time. Oh, I can never think of this guy. The kid from Memphis. Yeah, Elvis, that's right. Now, never let it be said that Elvis heard a song that somebody else did that he didn't want to do, because he did. And he did this song. And they both, Frank and Elvis, had huge hits on this song. Little tune called My Way. My Way. My Way. Hey, my show, my way. That's always a great tune to close the show with. My Way. Frank Sinatra and Elvis Presley big hit records on that song. Not together, singly, but they each put their own little spin on it. Well, we got to kind of get out of here. Once again, Coach Dave thanking y'all for y'all that spent too much time, but thanking you all for tuning in, listening, watching, whatever it is you do to catch this show. We certainly appreciate it. Thanks again to Austin behind the glass, doing his stellar job as usual. I think as you may or may not know, we've been really hassling here with sound for quite some time. I think we may have got it right. In fact, what it is we just stripped down to almost nothing here, and I think it's coming out a lot better. So thank y'all. Let's go home with, I don't know, My Way.